Welcome to the Dummy Plug Podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Dummy Plug Podcast. I am Gainer79. I am being joined today by Asuka.
Hello.
General Iowa.
Howdy, y'all.
Hunter.
Yo.
And Unit 2.
Hello.
Today on the podcast, we will be discussing cosplay. We'll bring up some of our favorite cosplays, as well as cosplay creation, and a bit of a controversial topic. We're going to discuss a little bit of the controversies in the cosplay community. But before we get all to that, we're going to discuss our favorites. So, Asuka, would you mind leading us off with one of your favorite Evangelion cosplays?
I don't know. The 10-foot tall Unit 2 that went to Anime Midwest was pretty freaking cool. So there's that.
Yeah, I met the guy. He was really cool.
He's kind of an asshole, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of an asshole,
You're
really.
just saying that because you're sleeping with him.
I don't...
Hey!
Hey!
Guys.
Hey!
It's me.
Strike that from the record.
It's him. That's the joke. It's the joke. My favorite Ava cosplay, and I'm so irritated that I don't know the name of the cosplayer, and I've seen a picture a bunch of times, but there's this Asuka that does the end of the most recent rebuild, her suit from that, so like the brand new suit she gets, but they do it in matte, like the whole thing is matte, and it just looks... Matte plug suits get me hot and bothered. Like, Jesus Christ. Well, make a plug suit out of neoprene and you have made a friend with me. There is also a Q-Ray that does a matte black. I'm trying to find who it is. But, yeah, no, any matte plug suits make me very happy just because I think that they're more show accurate.
All right. Iowa, how about you, dude? What is your favorite Ava cosplay?
ASEN, since I've begun going, has turned into quite the fertile ground for Ava cosplay, which makes me very happy. And I believe it was 2011 or 13, I don't remember which year, but someone decided, it was a couple people, one of them was Shinji, obvious simple cosplay.
Right.
The person with him was his tape deck.
Oh, I remember that. That was amazing.
Yes, I saw that, and I almost ran over a couple people getting over to them because I wanted a picture so badly, because you can do a lot of very inventive things with Ava, and honestly this past July 4th weekend was like a bonanza for Ava cosplay between Anime Expo and Anime Midwest. But yeah, that's my favorite because that's just so inventive, and it wasn't like just small scale tape deck. It was like big, it was huge, it had all the details, it was just amazing to see.
Nice. Hunter, how about you? What's your favorite Ava cosplay?
One of the favorite ones I remember was, I think it was Amanda Wynn Lee in that one video, and she was dancing with that pen.
Oh, God.
Just guy in a giant pen suit just goes up, and Amanda Wynn Lee, who's the voice actress of Ray, just starts giving him a lap dance.
Wow.
Loved it.
Incredible.
Blink.
All right, Unit 2, man. How about you? Because I know you have probably seen some really good ones.
Oh,
Moving on.
I was gonna say that Pen actually, just because Pen is the bomb diggity.
Yes.
But who else? I remember when I was doing research for the 10-foot tall thing. I remember watching a video there was a Mari who had a really nice helmet. Like, I forget at one point she was wearing like a pink helmet, and it was just very nice. I think the rest of the plug suit was made out of latex, maybe.
I just found it.
But the helmet was really nice.
The helmet's really nice.
All right. Probably one of the better, like, more unique cosplays I personally have ever seen. I saw someone go as the Sele Monolith.
Thank you for
Someone did
thank-
that. Someone did that at a con a couple weeks ago too. Like they
Thank-
were.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same person, honestly.
Thank you for mentioning
No,
that. That
there
was
were
gonna be
there
my
were
other
a bunch
one.
of them. There were as many as there are monoliths.
Oh,
my
wow.
god!
And they walked around in a unit.
I need a picture of this.
That
I need a picture of this.
and you know
I've seen it online somewhere. They have one with like Gendo standing in the middle.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's actually really creative thing though. It's like you don't think really okay, it's a saline monolith, it's a big box, and you paint it black and write sound only on it. But when you do it well and you do it right, it really sticks out. And that's something I do appreciate, in cosplay. Does anybody else have any other really good or unique ones they want to share?
You mean besides Asuka and Unit 2 at ASEN?
Yes,
with their
besides
Dance Like
our
You
own.
Want to Win ones,
Yes.
which were amazing.
There were some like interesting ones that I've seen that were like mashups.
Like what?
Like they'd take like zombie Shinji or zombie Asuka, something like that. But I've seen images of it online of people cosplaying as it.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen that.
And someone at Anime Expo this year it's officially classified as Lilith. It's not giant naked Ray. They did Lilith, and they even had a Chamber of Goth with them.
Oh, I remember the pictures of that.
Yeah, you've seen those pictures, right?
Yeah.
They got all, and let's not forget, Anime Expo also had the cosplay group do Unit 0 pre-paint job, Unit 1 and Unit 2 all together at the same time, and they were stalking around the convention center like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
I want to cosplay GNR. That would be cool.
I'm trying to convince someone else I know who cosplays to do GNR. So basically, it's whoever does it first would be, that'd be awesome. All I want to see is I just want to see the wings. That's all I want to see.
Yeah. One of the more storied ones I've seen and or heard about was, I forget what year ASIN this was, but I've heard this story and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe somebody actually had the guts to pull this off. Somebody went as Towel Ray, basically wearing nothing but panties and a white towel. Needless to say, convention staff kind of caught on, and all you heard over the banner was Towel Ray in the lobby, somebody get something on this. And they smothered her with a fire blanket. But still, to have the guts to do it, and, I applaud that.
I think a fire blanket's a little excessive. Wouldn't a jacket have worked?
That happened to my friend that was doing a topless cosplay. Like, she was covered enough that she was following the rules of the convention, but the convention that will remain nameless made a huge deal out of it, and they got in trouble, and it sucked.
Well,
ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a rule against wearing nothing but pasties.
I remember whenever I was at a Tekka Show Con a few years ago. There was a girl going around with the Haribel outfit from Bleach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, full bottom boob. Everything.
Oh, man.
I believe the technical term for that is underboob.
Yeah, I believe that is.
Yeah, under boob, sorry.
Man, am I glad I have no idea what that looks like, because I don't watch Bleach.
It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
I'll show you pictures later, Iowa. Trust me.
Duly noted.
I feel like they've kind of opened up on that since Kill la Kill.
Actually, you'd be surprised. Like, conventions are actually putting out real things that are like, don't cosplay Kill la Kill. Don't think about cosplaying Kill la Kill. If you're gonna cosplay Kill la Kill, here's some advice: don't.
One of the things I've seen in regards to Kill la Kill cosplay, is that you can't wear like basically a costume without something covering your chest.
You have to get like a flesh leotard.
Yeah, pretty much. You have to wear a flesh leotard.
Conventions generally go by the bathing suit rule. If it exposes more of your body than a string bikini would, then you are not allowed to wear it. Interesting, though, how none of these really comment on the nudist beach costumes that the guys wear, where it's literally just a utility belt and nothing else, which are by a couple square inches a lot more revealing than any of the girls are on that show.
It's not so much what's being revealed as the potential for things to be revealed that shouldn't be revealed.
If someone's wearing just a utility belt and nothing else, there is much more opportunity for a ball sack to show than there is for someone's like
especially on
areola to be spotted from a specific angle. Like, the other thing that people don't realize about the Kill la Kill cosplays are that people that attempt these huge, crazy Kill la Kill, like, life fiber synchronized Ryuko and, like, full battle armor Satsuki are, like, immensely talented cosplayers that know what they are doing and would never, ever be as careless as to let a nip slip happen or to not fit things to their body. So
No, I understand that, but
Mhm.
but again, I could see it from the convention's point of view, where
it's a liability.
it's
a liability.
It's a liability, and even the best laid plans have malfunctions.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I agree. I get nervous because it opens the door for people to be creepy, and I don't think I don't want that in any way to be read as I think people shouldn't cosplay Kill la Kill because you should expect people to be creepy. That should be read as, please stop being creepy to people that cosplay revealing things. Sincerely, someone who cosplays in full spandex. Please stop being weird to us. It's really uncomfortable.
Hey,
Stop
Liz.
being weird.
What do you think the common courtesy is on taking photos of cosplayers?
Ask first. Always ask
Ask
first.
Yeah,
unless unless it's a situation like Unit 2 and I ran into where he put the suit on outside of the masquerade before prejudging, and it reasonably drew a huge crowd. Please just ask. If I'm walking around and I'm just using, I don't want to sound selfish, I'm just using myself as an example, and I know every other cosplayer that I've talked to agrees with this. Please ask first, because oftentimes we know that these pictures are going to make it to the internet, and I would much rather be on the internet in a posed picture where I'm standing up straight and I'm angled correctly, rather than my slumpy, slouchy ass in spandex.
Like
eating a burger.
Yeah.
That happened to us at, I think it was ASEN. I forget where. I think it was ASEN, where I was eating something. No, it wasn't. It was Anime Midwest last year, and I was wearing Dance Battle, and I was eating something. Kamal remembers this, I think, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you were with us. We were watching the Samurai Dan thing, like the spars, and I was literally sitting on the ground, legs crossed, with a hot dog on a plate in my lap, and I was eating a hot dog. I was exhausted. And someone came up and asked me for a picture, and I was like, no. And they pouted and got angry and bent out of shape, and I was like, no, don't do that. No.
Wait till you're done eating. Anyway.
Seriously. And the other thing is,
Nice.
if you ask, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say, no, please find me later. It's never going to be, no, you're creepy, go away. It's going to be, no, I'm sorry, I'm doing something right now. Would you like to come to the photo shoot later and take pictures then?
Yeah, unless you're like basically like panting or fidgeting a little weirdly or something.
No, even then I understand that they're in this hobby, like anime in general and conventions in general, attracts a crowd that is kind of socially anxious. I'm super socially anxious. If I went up to a cosplayer and wanted to ask for a picture, I'd probably be like, "Can I take your picture, please?" I'd probably be super weird about it. So I totally understand if people come up and they're super shy and uncomfortable to ask. That doesn't mean I'm automatically going to say yes to you. It just means that I get that you're probably not creepy. You're just nervous. Like, it's you shouldn't assume that all cosplayers out there think that you're creepy or weird. Always, we assume the best in people, unless you're doing something weird like asking me for a picture and trying to upskirt me at the same time, which has happened.
Let's discuss that later.
Yeah.
Wait, you got upskirted in latex?
No, in a different cosplay. We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
Go on.
okay.
Next subject.
So let's go on to the next thing is cosplay creation. Unit 2, Asuka, I know you guys both create your own costumes. So why don't you guys tell us a bit about what goes into making a good Ava cosplay, or just a good cosplay in general?
A lot of
Yeah.
that was the dumbest thing I've ever said.
It's how much you want to put of yourself into it. For me, I
even-
put 48 hours straight and paint fumes into it, and I think it turned out well.
Heart first, resin second. Got it.
Cough drop,
Well,
drop third.
I am 120% of the belief that if you pour your heart into a cosplay and you just bust your ass making the stupid thing, and you're doing it for love of the character and for love of the subject material, and you're doing it because you really care about your this as a hobby, and you want that kind of stuff, even if it is construction wise, finger quotes, not good. So even if you sharpied the details of a plug suit onto a store-bought Zentai suit, I don't care. If you are out there working it and you are loving what you're doing and you're happy as hell to be doing it, good for you. Like, I'm kind of sick of the idea that there is such a thing as like
Yeah, it's
bad
definitely
cosplay.
it's definitely part craftsmanship, but at the same time part presentation.
All right. Well, like, what kind of materials would you guys suggest using for, say, a plug suit? Let's start with that.
Not latex. Ask me why.
Oh, that's
Why?
that's kind of a canon topic.
Ask me why you shouldn't use latex.
Okay, why shouldn't we use latex?
Technically, and I'm speaking from a seamstress point of view here, you don't sew latex, you bond it. Like you have to use like it. You can't sew it. Like it's rubber, so you can't put it in a sewing machine and sew it together, or you can, but it will be very difficult and you will break lots of needles and also probably your brain. So you have to like bond it. I don't really know how it's done. I think there's
Use
like
a heated epoxy.
yeah, I was gonna say there's some sort of material you got to use, and then this if you get the measurements wrong or the seam allowance wrong, even a little bit, there's no give because it's rubber. The other thing is you have to like literally douse yourself in lubricant to get into them, so they're not comfortable. They're not good for you.
You gotta wear them all day.
You got to wear them all day, and you're gonna smell like a butt when you get out of them. And if you got to pee, you got to get out of it, and then you got to lube up and get back into it. They're gross.
Yeah,
they're not sanitary. They're hard to take care of, and they photograph terribly. They photograph just terribly. They reflect so much light, and they look so bad. And from a Canon perspective, it doesn't make sense for the suits to be made of something that isn't breathable because the suits are supposed to be the closest thing to being naked that the pilots can be. So why would they wear something that would prevent the LCL from touching their skin? Which is why I'm going to sing you the praises of neoprene. It's cheap, it's easy to sew, and it comes in a variety of different colors. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. I'm lying to you. Buy it in bulk. But it's
for our listeners, what is neoprene?
Neoprene is what they make scuba suits out of.
Okay.
So it's not like swimsuit material. It's like scuba suit material. Swimsuits are made of spandex.
Scuba's a bit different because there's stuff other than neoprene in there. There's more. It's like neoprene with something under it. There's like a foam under it.
I mean wetsuit, not scuba suit. I'm talking about like if you would get a bodysuit for tubing or for surfing, like one that you would buy at the store. You know that really thick waterproof material? It's thick. You have to get a special zipper for them. They're thick, but they photograph super well, and they make sense canonically, and they're a lot more comfortable because they're designed to maintain ideal body temperature. So, like, it will keep you warm if it's cold outside, and it will keep you cool if it's hot. So, I don't know. They're just better. The only problem is that you have to get a special needle to sew because they're so thick, and you have to put paper in between the layers when you're sewing it so that it doesn't snag the fabric. But, I don't know. If you're going to go all
I was looking into it. You can actually buy it pretty thin.
All right, well.
It's just when you do... Well, because when you have like the scuba stuff or the surfing stuff, it's like it's supposed to keep you warm.
Yeah,
needs more insulation.
Yeah, and so it's thick and insulated, but you can get it thinner and it.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I was going to say, if we're talking about the things that go into a good, we'll just say plug suit, because the other Ava cosplays are pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing really unique about them in terms of anime costumes, like. If you're a big cosplayer, odds are you've probably already done a schoolgirl. You've probably already done any of the other tame ones. But the plug suits, my biggest thing would be, especially if you're cosplaying Ray's plug suit, please wear undergarments. Do not wear undergarments. That will be I wear a matte red plug suit. It should be opaque. It's not opaque. Nothing is opaque when camera light hits it. So you might look fine in the mirror, but then when your pictures hit the internet, it's like, wow, there's my vagina right there. There it is. So
would you say we're like a leotard?
Not even a leotard. They sell, they're called Spanx for all of the people in this conversation that may not be in the know. They are
so all the guys.
a person. Well, I mean, guys can wear Spanx.
I don't know what Spanx are. Please explain Spanx.
Spanx are like a really, really tight pair. They're a pair of like undershorts. Like they're made to be worn without underwear because they are underwear. They have this weird little like crotch opening that you can like pee out of. They're weird. It's just gross.
Kind of like Under Armour.
Kind of. It's like Under Armour, except it's like compression shorts. Except imagine if compression shorts could take like 3 inches off your waist.
Okay.
They compress you, so you shouldn't wear them for a very long amount of time, but they're enough that you could walk around on a con floor with them, and they're a good foundational garment because they don't. And the shrinking part isn't what I like necessarily. Excuse me, I hiccuped. It's not necessarily the shrinking that I go for so much as it's holding everything where it's supposed to be. Like it's just it gives you a clean line. Like it makes the line of your costume very clean. It makes the garment hang right on your person, makes the garment hang without any interruptions on
Less
the curve of
seams.
your hip. Yeah, there's no seam puckering if everything is laying flat, which
Okay.
human bodies don't do, and that's not a bad thing. Bodies are the best. But the other thing about Spanx that's really nice is it's not reflects light, they diffuse light. So whereas a flash would hit your skin and your skin reflects light from underneath the suit, the Spanx kind of prevent that.
They absorb the light.
Yeah, they absorb the light so that when it's kind of like if you're wearing a white shirt with a white bra underneath, you can't see the shirt you can't see the bra until someone takes a picture of you, and that's because the white bra reflects the light.
We know
The
that, right,
Spanx-
Gaynor?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I know.
Spanx absorb it so that no one can see your butt when people are taking pictures of you.
Is it like a full body thing, or is it?
You can buy them full body. You can buy them in shorts. You can buy they have like high-waisted shorts. That's what I wear is the high-waisted shorts one because I also wear a pair of tights underneath mine just because I'm super paranoid. They're high-waisted. I think they're called, I forget. They're basically like the top of a control top pair of pantyhose, except like on roids. They are very uncomfortable. The first time I wore mine, I bought it a size too small, thinking I was going to be slick and make myself look smaller. The result was that I could not eat at Ramen Con. I'm always there for that one. I could not eat breakfast because I forgot to eat before I put it on. So buy them in the right size. You can buy them in a kind that goes underneath your chest area. They unfortunately only sell them for finger quotes female bodies, but I could see how they would work for a dude as well. I think they have a finger quotes men's line as well, but just find one that works well for your body and then wear it. They're really expensive though, so if you can find them in a store and like try on a couple pairs, they'll let you try them on if you leave your underpants on. Try them on before you buy them because the full body ones are literally $80. So buy one that you're sure you're gonna like and you're gonna use underneath everything else. I wear Spanx underneath all of my cosplay, so.
All right. Well, let's.
Do you guys want to talk about
I
armor
have a
now?
question.
Yes, I was
for
just about to
Unit
bring up.
2.
This
I was just
episode
about
brought
to
to
bring
you
up
by
the armor.
Spanx.
I was actually just about to bring up the armor. Unit 2, man. Why don't you tell us a little bit about like armor creation? Like, what kind of material did you use for your suit?
So I used papercraft. So the process of that is putting I used cardstock, like heavy cardstock, and folded it into whatever shapes I needed, and then put automotive resin on it, and then on the inside I bought it's like a fiberglass, like woven fiberglass sheet, and I put that on the inside and put resin on the inside, and that made it sturdy. And so my entire 10-foot tall robot's made out of that. It takes a really long time.
So there's a time commitment involved with something like this.
Yeah, like it's the first suit of armor that I've ever made.
Okay.
Whenever you first were thinking about making it, did you have any pre-drafts or were you like, this is going to be 10 feet tall from like the beginning?
Okay, so that's one of the things that like when I was looking at different like Ava cosplays and looking at the Avas, you can't really tell just by a glance at an Ava, but they're really disproportioned. Like they are not human proportions. They have really small heads and really long legs compared
So it's
to
not something you can really put like your head in the helmet.
What was well, you could put your head in the helmet, but that just means that your head has to be the base from which you proportion the rest of the bot.
Right.
But I was about to say, Kamal, what was the way that you described to me?
They have really long legs, dinky heads.
Dinky heads. That was what you
dinky.
said to me. Was that they have?
Right.
I was asking you how your progress was going, and you were like, they're weirdly proportioned. Like they've got these wide shoulders and these little dinky heads. So, and I laughed so hard.
And so every time I've seen an Ava cosplay, like it's good. It's really good. It's just I wanted to do one where my base was I want the proportions to be like correct. And so what I did, how you do papercraft is normally you find a 3D model, like on the internet. Usually, if you're cosplaying from a video game, you pull the models right from the game.
Right.
But I found one for all the Avas, and so I put that into this program that the program takes a 3D model and unfolds it, and then you can print out that unfold and then fold it back up.
Really quick, what program would that be so the maybe
It-
listeners can look into this?
It is called Pepakura Designer.
Okay.
So yeah, that. How many pages did I go through? We went almost through I want to say a ream of paper. So like
It was a
somewhere
ream,
between
more.
250.
What kind of paper did you use for that? Anything special?
It was heavy. It was the heaviest cardstock I could find at Staples. I'm not sure what the weight was.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Try
sure
to find the
Staples
heaviest
employee would be very
cardstock
happy to
you
help.
Yeah, the thing is in the other room. I don't know
So well,
but
so one of the things I was always curious about your costume unit too is, it, based on the height of this thing, did you make stilts for this thing and like
yes.
were they professional stilts or were they just
No,
a piece of wood?
I made them out of wood. The initial plan was to get painter stilts or drywall stilts, which are nice. They have like feet with springs in them so that you can stabilize very nicely. Because it's for people who don't normally wear stilts. They're for construction workers.
Okay.
So they're very sturdy, very easy to walk in. But then I constructed all the armor pieces, and the height I needed the stilts to go is about 2.5, 2 3/4 feet. And there really aren't any painter stilts under $300 that are that high.
I see.
And so it kind of put a damper on that. So then I decided to make them out of paper, or I'm sorry, out of wood. Stilts out of paper.
The stilts are made out of paper.
It's all paper. No, they're made out of wood, and I mean I've had to practice in them to walk at all.
Watching him practice in the stilts is kind of like watching a baby giraffe walk for the first time.
I've
like,
seen a video.
I'm sure it's just as terrifying for the baby giraffe.
Do you know if a giraffe took a sip of hot coffee, it would be cold by the time it reached its stomach? That's a fact I learned today. That's science.
I don't know if that's true.
Back to the cosplay. Unit 2, if you would continue, please.
So yeah, I made it all out of paper. I had to resin and fiberglass all of it, and then I went through like a gallon of resin. And
He
What
helped
Did you
a
learn
lot of
something
it.
from that?
What about the painting process? I'm actually curious about. Now, do you paint before you apply the resin, or do you paint after the resin?
afterwards. After
After
it's
sanding
all
it, too.
sturdy and oh yeah, I have to sand it too because when you resin, it's a very viscous liquid, and how resin works is that you have this big thing of one liquid and a tiny little dropper of another, and you have to mix them in a certain proportion and then apply it, and then after however long it'll harden.
I see.
So I have to quickly mix them together, paint through however much before it hardens, and so it gets viscous, it sort of drips, and so I had to go back and sand all of it to get rid of all those drips and those deformities.
I see.
That took the second most amount of time being actually putting together the paper.
All right. So okay, so I think we've got an idea of what goes into a good cosplay like that.
If I had to do it again, I don't think I'd use papercraft. Using things like EVA foam, Warbler. I've never used Warbler before, but I think those would be a lot faster than what I did.
Right.
I think the only problem with that though is that you wouldn't really be able to have the Pepakura base to start from.
Okay.
Yeah, don't most paints dissolve foam?
Yeah, that's the
No.
other thing if you use foam is that you'd have to worry about.
It's not that the paint dissolves the foam, it's that EVA foam is notorious for like sucking up the paint.
It's like a big.
So like you put a layer on there, and when you leave it to let it dry, the paint is like sheer because it's the foam itself is porous. So you have to put like, depending on what kind of paint you're using, spray paint, I know you have to put 7 or 8 coats on to get it to just stop being a pain in the ass. So
Yeah, whereas the papercraft took 2 coats and it's entirely opaque.
Okay. So that's some interesting ideas there. Now, I mean, before we've all gotten to the level of creating, has anybody ever done like a closet cosplay of Ava?
Yeah.
What did you do?
It was Shinji. It was just sort of a last minute like casual Sunday Like, I mean, it was just, what is it, jeans and the button down,
Okay.
A short sleeve button down.
a coffee mug from the hotel room.
All right. So just something just to kind of say you're cosplaying, but not doing it too hard.
I don't know. I don't think there's a problem with closet cosplay, TBH.
I do
I think
it.
I was gonna say I think closet cosplay is awesome.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
just because we
it's a
don't
great
all
place
have the
to start.
time. We don't all have the Kamal and I's first cosplay was hysterical. It was a closet Death Note cosplay. Oh, it was really bad. It was really bad, but I look back on those pictures so fondly. I look back at them and I just smile really quietly and I like, God, to be 14 again. But
Reminds you where you came from.
oh my God, our first cosplay was 7? No. It could not have been 7 years ago.
I don't know.
It was 7 years ago.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I feel like I'm in a weird position because like my first and really only decent cosplay, actually my only cosplays have ever been closet cosplays. One was accidental, one was intentional. My second one is the one I'm best known for is my Bob from Tekken 6 costume, which the only thing I actually had to order for that was the wig. Everything else I bought at the thrift store or Walmart, or I just had on hand. So, but the way it turns out, because it matches my body type very well, a lot of people seem to really appreciate it. But my first ever cosplay was a closet cosplay, and it was totally on accident. And there's a weird story that goes into that, and I'll explain, on another podcast or whatever. But needless to say, in the heat of the moment, I created an original character for Bleach.
Oops.
Yeah, it's a funny story, and I'll tell it to you sometime. But I don't want to take away too much time from the podcast. We've got other things to talk about.
My Asuka, my yellow dress Asuka is a closet cosplay. That dress is just a dress that I own. Yeah, I just own that. That's just mine. I wear that to class sometimes. I think I'm really clever. I wear it with my red Toms, and I think I'm really funny. No one gets my joke, but I think it's really funny.
I mean, what advice should we, the closet cosplayers of yore, give to the new generation? Just not to be afraid of it, just to, what can we say?
Don't let the assholes on the internet tell you that closet cosplay is dumb. Don't let the assholes on the internet tell you that buying your costume off the internet is dumb. Don't let the assholes on the internet tell you anything. Don't listen to them. Put your fingers in your ears and finish your costume. Don't. That's how I feel about critics on the internet. That's how I feel about cosplay critics.
You mustn't run away.
Like I was so aptly quoted in the what the heck? I don't even.
The Herald?
The Daily Herald.
The Herald. It was I was looking for the first word. The first word. It's like the monthly Herald. I was quoted in the Daily Herald as saying, "You can't be an elitist when you're a nerd in a costume." The quote was actually, "You can't be an elitist when we're all nerds in costumes," which is what I kind of stand by. Like, I think it's so asinine that people on the internet get all up on people's cases like, "Oh yeah, she's a good Asuka, but she like had that plug suit made." Like, so what? I'm not trying to pass it off as my own work. I'm just enjoying cosplaying the character. Like,
yeah, that's really the only issue is give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
If you didn't.
Also, don't get butt mad over other people's cosplays. Mind your own business. Don't you have cosplays to finish? Jesus.
The answer is always yes.
The answer is always yes. Even when it's not yes, it's yes.
All right. Well, I think with that all said and done, I want to move on to the controversial section, and I'll give everybody the chance in this podcast to bail now if you want to, because Lord knows we were arguing about this before we started recording. So, this is my personal opinion on this, and I'll throw it at you guys as when I finish my little rant here. So within the cosplay community as a whole now, I've started to notice a bit of a backlash against people who consider themselves to be professional cosplayers, or those who aspire to be professionals. And I think that a lot of the backlash results from not so much from, because somebody's better than them, than, somebody's better at doing it, or somebody has more talent at creating a costume. I think a lot of the backlash resulting from people who don't appreciate what they're doing. I feel that there's no love for the characters. There's no love for, people are doing it not so much as a hobby anymore, as something, and not enjoying what they're doing. They're doing it because they want to be famous, and I think that's the wrong reason to cosplay. Um, I don't want to name anybody specific, but I've heard stories about people who just like, the only reason they don't even know anything about the character, like they don't even know, the character's name sometimes, if they're asked, and that's, that doesn't seem right to me. I'm not a professional cosplayer at any level. I'm not. I mean, I just said I'm a closet cosplayer at best. I don't, I'm not about to chastise anybody for anything like that. But I do feel that a lot of people have stopped wanting to cosplay because they feel that, they're going to get made fun of by somebody because they're not talented enough, which is, that's not right. I know a lot of there's something that I know me and Hunter have seen where people are shaming people because they're not the right gender, not the right race. That's not right either by any stretch of the imagination. And I think the whole cosplay community is starting to reach a boiling point, of there's going to be, a problem later on, and I don't know what that problem may be, and I don't want to know what that problem may be. I think, we as a collective group of cosplayers, fans, what have you, can be civil enough to, discuss these things in an open forum without getting at each other's throats.
I have several things to say in response.
By all means.
In a calm and collected adult manner.
Thank you.
I think it's silly that the only people that ever catch shit for not knowing the subject material are girls, and I would like to see receipts if you've ever seen it happen to a guy, because I've never in my career heard people try and call into question the dedication to character of any male cosplayer. I've never, ever, ever in my life seen that. I will also say this: I don't really care if you've played every single BioShock game. If you're cosplaying Elizabeth and it's good and you're in character, good for you. I think that a lot of the issues with people leaving the cosplay community are centered around online communities that are incredibly hateful, rather than feeling inferior. Because most of the, and I say this, you can't see me, viewers, I'm a dumbass. You can't see me, listeners, but I'm doing huge air quotes when I say this. Of all of the professional cosplayers I know, not a single one of them would ever, 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 ever advocate for telling someone to not cosplay because they don't think they're good enough. Every single one of them would echo what I'm saying when I say that there is no such thing as bad cosplay, and there is no such thing as I'm not going to cosplay because I'm not good enough, or because so-and-so does a better insert character than me. I personally have struggled with that, where I don't want to cosplay because online communities are nasty, like they're vicious. And I think that's really where the controversy is, that within the cosplay community, people are being very, very nasty and hateful to each other. And I don't know where that development came from, because it certainly wasn't around when I was younger. But I struggle to, my big issue with the whole hating on professional cosplayers thing is that if I could make cosplay into my day job, you bet your ass I would, because it is something that I am extremely passionate about. And if I had the skills with a sewing machine that Yaya Han has, you better believe that I would make it into a paying day job, because why not do what you love? And I'm sure Kamal echoes my sentiment when I say that if we could make our Theta, like the props department and Wigs Commission, if we could make that into like what we did, I would be completely content. That would be fine with me. It wouldn't bother me at all. I think the issue comes from, I don't know, people get real bent out of shape when cosplayers try and brand themselves and market themselves, and I think that's kind of awful, because these people don't have day jobs. Like, this is what they do. And a lot of the issues that people take with professional cosplayers are things like, boo-hoo, she didn't spend enough time with me at the meet and greet or this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, because there were 700 people in line behind you. Like, it's minor celebrity, and like I get the whole idea of celebrity worship being totally absurd, but like I don't know. I feel like when we start criticizing professional cosplayers, air quotes, we lose the humanity of these people. Like they are still people, and they are still people that this is their job. Like it might just be a hobby to you, but to these finger quotes top tier cosplayers, it's their job. So there's a certain level of impersonality that comes with it, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because I don't think that the emergence of professional cosplayers has in any way made people not want to cosplay. If anything, it's made me want to cosplay more because I want to be that good. I don't want to be famous, but I want to be as good as that.
Well,
I don't know.
if I may, and I don't disagree with some of the things you said. But I feel that from people I've talked to, from personal experience, I feel that professional cosplayers have kind of given this air that they're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it because it's a job. And also, it also feels like, from speaking from like the lower fandoms, or not, I'm not saying lower fandoms, I'm saying like not top tier creators. They feel a lot of the fun has been sucked out of creating a cosplay.
I don't think that
even on my own, if it's 2:00 in the morning before a convention and I'm gluing things to Kamal's spandex covered ass so that he can go to the convention, go to the masquerade the next morning, my thought is not cosplay is the best hobby and I love doing cosplay. I hate cosplay sometimes. Like there are times when cosplay stops being fun and it starts being professional. Yeah, it's work. It's work.
And I don't think that them considering all of the cosplay that they do as work cheapens it for the rest of us. And I don't think that them not necessarily knowing the sub or like being intimately familiar with the subject material cheapens the work that they put into it.
But I'm not.
I'd like to reiterate. Only girls ever catch shit for that. Only ever do female cosplayers catch shit for not knowing subject material. I have seen so many people go on and on about how Jessica Negri is fake and this, that, and the other. She only cosplays things that she's told to cosplay and that she's doesn't actually care about the community. Only girls ever catch shit for that, and it bothers me so much. It really bothers me.
and I don't want to disagree with what you just said, but at the same time, I have to kind of just kind of explain.
You don't have to agree with me. Nobody has to agree with me.
But what I'm saying is, I understand that you feel that a lot of girls mainly catch flack for this, but at the same time, the big names in the professional community are women, and I haven't really seen a male who's on the level of some of these people yet. So I can understand a little bit of why there's so much directed at the female cosplayers.
Just because there's more of them.
Right. There's more of them. They're more well known. I haven't seen the male equivalent of a Yaya Han yet.
Miggy. I mean, but even on a lower level, like I have male friends that cosplay.
I'd agree with you on a lower level.
Here we go. This is speaking from personal experience. I personally had an experience with a prize-winning cosplayer. Beautiful cosplay from a super famous series. Beautiful. Won prizes. And I was talking to this individual during a competition, and he turned to me and said, "Do you know what's really funny? I've never played this game." And I stood there shocked because I was like, if my ass admitted that anywhere, if I ever said anything like, haha, I've never played this, or I've never seen this movie, or whatever, I would never, ever, ever be taken seriously forever. But for this cosplayer, it was as flippant as anything. Like, it was just I thought this outfit was cool, so I made it. And I'm like, why can't that be for everyone? Like, I see concept art of characters all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I want to make that right now. But I don't have the time or the money to... I mean, prior to a week ago, I didn't even have an Xbox. I've never played any AAA games, and there are a lot of cosplays I want to make from big games, and I was fully prepared to do them without ever having played the game. And I don't know. I don't know. It riles me.
But
The whole
some
idea of
things,
fake,
like a lot of the cosplayers, like the professional ones, they're pretty much Barbie dolls. Some of them, they don't buy or make their costumes. They just sit in a room with like potted plants and professional photographers and get pictures taken of them.
I want receipts. I want names and receipts, because everyone thought that about Riddle, and then Riddle went on Heroes of Cosplay and revealed that, whoa, surprise, surprise, she has a giant fucking cosplay workshop where she makes every single minute detail of everything she wears. Like, I think it's so ridiculous that so-called top-tier cosplayers are held to these absolutely absurd standards. Like, God forbid somebody buys a pre-styled wig because, shit hits the fucking fan. But these people do this for a living. This is what they make their money off of. And if they don't have time to style some Final Fantasy ass looking wig, coming from someone who does wigs, more power to them. If you can find someone that does it better than you, good for them. Like,
yeah, if you're sitting like 3 hours in a makeup chair, doesn't that paint like a I'm trying to think, like sort of like the modeling standard for what people are holding cosplayers to?
You're speaking to someone,
so.
and you're speaking to someone who spends 2 hours on their cosplay makeup. I spend start to finish 2 hours.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know how many hours it takes to put on makeup. I'm a guy, but I was just saying that how many hours you sit there and you have a professional makeup artist working on you the whole time.
I mean,
going back to what I was saying before, I don't think that their cosplays necessarily like ruin it or like have to affect the cosplays of others. Like when you say it sets
I'm
the
not
standard,
saying that it's
I wouldn't say
ruining
it sets the
but
standard.
it is setting a like artificial standard for beauty on what cosplay should be.
I don't know if you're aware of this. I don't know if you're aware of this, but we are dressed up as fictional characters that do not have facial anatomy that human beings have. So, like, it's irritating that people go on and on about accuracy, but when accuracy involves putting on makeup and contacts and false lashes, everyone gets bent out of shape about being fake. Like, you are dressed up as a cartoon character. It does not get any more fake than that. Like, there is not a situation where I can think that you could be more fake. So I think it's silly because all of the cosplayers I know put on tons of makeup. And let me just preface this with, you don't ever need an excuse to wear a butt ton of makeup. If you want to wear a butt ton of makeup, do it. But I wear a ton of it because it camera flash flattens your face and it makes your face look flat and shitty in pictures. So if you put on the right kind of makeup and you put on enough of it, it will make your face look better in pictures. There's nothing wrong with that. A good face could make a bad cosplay great, and a bad face could make a great cosplay terrible. I've seen plenty of cosplays where I'm like, oh no, if they had just put a little bit on their eyes or a little bit to accentuate this, which is why I do makeup for people at conventions, because I want to help people discover the beauty of this. I feel like I see cosplay as a performance art, and when you go on stage to do a performance art, you have to, you have to put the full effort in, and that includes makeup. And I don't know.
All right.
I'm against the idea of calling makeup fake ever, because
I'm not calling it fake.
Well, let me. I just want to get back to the topic at hand a little bit here, and I'm not saying anybody in here is wrong, but I'm going to reference an article I read about this particular subject a little bit, and it was it was discussing the so-called elitism in cosplay.
There's a lot of that. Right.
Well, and it was not, and that's the thing. Elitism itself sounds like a bad word. It sounds like you're placing somebody placing themselves above the rest of the group. But really what elitism gets down to is, that there is people that are very good at it and people that aren't so good at it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those people that are really good at it don't want to help people. And that was kind of what this article was discussing is, yes, there's people at a higher level and even the professional level in terms of cosplay, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want to help the lower lower talented, lower tier people. They want
I
to
mean,
help. They want to raise the community to a good standard. They want to help people reach those same standards.
I think the issue is taking something like cosplay, which is inherently non-competitive, non like it's like
it's an
Liz was
amateur
saying,
thing.
yeah, it's performance art. It's something that's not inherently meant to be judged. So when you say like high level and low level, referring to the skill level of these people, I don't think that's really a relevant metric to be judging the entire community on.
You know,
Well,
actually,
let's go
hold on.
beginner, amateur, advanced, experienced, whatever you want to call it.
I think that only ever
Semantics.
matters when you're competing. Truly,
know
like
what?
that only ever is relevant if you're entering yourself into a thing. And what's interesting and not interesting, it's pertinent to what we're talking about. Those levels when you compete, and I speak from experience, they are not decided necessarily on the caliber of your costume, but usually by how many times you've competed. So oftentimes it doesn't have anything to do with how nice your costume looks. It has to do with how many times you've been out there and tried to win something.
You know what? Just really quick before we kind of go on here, Unity, you actually bring up an interesting point. Has competition is the competition the reason that maybe cosplay has become the cosplay community has become what it is? Have people have gotten so competitive and so I need to be the winner that that this is the reason that the community is what it is?
I don't think
feel
it's
that.
the competition itself, but the focus on competition. Like Heroes of Cosplay, I was originally really excited for it because I thought it would be about cosplayers being cosplayers, but it's focusing on these competitions, and I think it's giving this wrong impression to a lot of not only cosplayers, but even people inside of the community already, that the main focus of cosplaying is the competition, when it's just not.
Right.
It is I'd say even fringe part of what it means to cosplay and be a cosplayer and be part of a cosplay community.
Case in point, out of how many people at Anime Midwest, I think there were maybe 15 in the entire masquerade total. Like performance, walk-ons, every category. I think there might have been
No,
between 15
it was like
and 30
30.
people. Okay, well, what I'm saying is that it was so minuscule. Like there was almost nobody there, and I think that's pretty exemplary of.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just calling people high tier and low tier cosplayers is overinflating the importance of these
Competition.
competitions to the community itself.
Yeah. Like there are really good cosplays that I've seen. I'm just mentioning this because I just went on Facebook and I saw our friend Chad. Hi Chad, I know you're listening. Chad's 1/4 of R Theta and he's the best. But Chad met a Garrus Vicarian cosplayer and a Tali Zora that, to my knowledge, have never competed with either of those costumes. And they're really fantastic. And I don't think that the fact that they haven't competed makes them less of a cosplayer. So, like, until Kamal competed with Unit 2 this spring or this summer, he had never competed before. I still haven't actually officially competed in anything. And I don't think that changes the level of competition. I don't know. I'm rambling. This subject makes my ass itch. I don't know.
All right. Well, really, now, Asuka, Kamal, you guys are both, into the cosplay community. I'm almost part of the community as a cosplayer. Hunter, I know you're a little bit outside the cosplay thing, but Iowa, man, I want to hear your opinions because you are the most unbiased person in this. You've never cosplayed, as far as I know. I want your opinion on this whole thing, if you don't mind.
About which part?
Well, just like, what are your thoughts on like the community as a whole? Do you feel that the reason that there's a cosplay backlash is because of the professionals and because of the competition stuff, or do you feel that there's nothing really there at all and we're just all reading a little too much into this?
I'm blind to whatever is going on. Let's
Okay.
be honest, okay? Because I don't know anything about cosplay. All right? Let's make that very apparent. If you are listening to this podcast and you have noticed that I have not been talking, there is a reason why I have not been talking, because I know nothing about cosplay. I don't know the technical parts about it. I have never done it myself, and every time I go to conventions, I am happy to see the people who are willing to go in cosplay. And I actually have a good story about this. When you and I went to Anime Iowa, and we were in the hotel room, what did we see and what was my reaction to them. Do you remember?
To which one?
The Gundam Wing duo.
Oh, right, that one.
There were 2 people who were doing Gundam Wing cosplay. I will preface this by saying I fucking hate Gundam Wing. Cannot stand that show. I absolutely hate that show. But I am happy that people wanted to do the cosplay of it because it is an older show. It is one that is remembered fondly by your generation, Gaynor, the Toonami generation.
Right.
Not by me because I don't like the show, but it is a show that is, loved and adored by an older generation. Cosplays don't always necessarily do that, and conventions are not necessarily geared towards older fans at times. So I am never going to go to a convention and say that cosplay sucks. I don't care what show it is from, no matter how much I cannot stand said show. If you are willing to do the cosplay for it, more power to you. I appreciate the fact that you are willing to do that. I love the fact that you are doing that, and I will probably take a picture of it for my own personal records.
To add to
Because-
that, I love the idea that there's always like a diversity of cosplay.
Yeah,
It's like the worst time to go to a con is whenever everyone's dressing as the same thing.
yes, that is what I want most out of the cosplay community is variety. I have always prescribed to the thought that variety is the spice of life. And if everybody's going to do the same thing, that's boring. That's why, okay, I know everybody loves Attack on Titan. I'm sorry. I'm not one.
Hold on. I'm stopping this right here because if not for Flavor of the Month cosplays, Kamal and I wouldn't be here right now. If
No,
not
true.
for Flavor
I
of
wasn't.
the
That's
Month
not what I was going to say. I was going to say
okay.
I'm not going to take a bajillion pictures of the same thing over and over again. We'll take
Maybe one group picture of like 30 Luffys,
Yeah,
but
like if I will take like one pic. Like if I see Attack on Titan cosplay, I will do one picture. Like, for Anime Iowa, there was a Sasha with these really awesome glasses and a potato. Or wait, it was the awesome glasses Sasha, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Swag Sasha. and
Yeah,
she
it was
had the
Swag
breath-
Sasha. That was the only Attack on Titan one I took because, as good as their cosplays are, they all look the same. I don't need to take the same thing over and over again.
But at the same time, that was a little bit of a unique take on it.
Yeah, that's a unique take, and I appreciate the fact that it was a unique take. And I also saw Sasha with a potato at
Oh, that was at ASIN. That was
yeah, at ASEN.
This is the one I took.
There was a Sasha. Yeah, you got it. Sasha with a potato. That's unique. Awesome. I want uniqueness, and that's one reason why I'm glad that there's people who do Doctor Who do I'm a big wrestling geek. Okay, like I'm a huge wrestling mark. I love it when people do wrestling cosplays at conventions because they get really good with it. Like that Bray Wyatt that you and I were hanging out with at ASEN.
And then I met again at Kaiju Big Battle, actually.
Yeah, that dude was awesome because he had the hat, he had the shirt, he had the facial hair, he even had the lantern. That was like
That was the over the top part of it. Was
best
like,
touch. And that Undertaker we saw Saturday night too.
Oh,
that
was good.
pretty. That dude was pretty awesome too.
That was
So-
that was good.
That's what. That's basically all I've got on cosplay because I want to do cosplay, but I don't have the confidence in myself to do it. So, Asuka and Unit 2 and you two, Gainer, you know what? You keep doing it, and you guys, I'm appreciative that you guys are willing to do it because you know what? That means you're awesome, and that means I've got pictures to take every time I go, to a convention. So also with Gaynor's cosplay, you know what he gets mistaken for most?
Oh God, yeah.
You know when anybody want to take a guess?
What?
He
Well-
gets mistaken for what's his face from Megas XLR.
Oh God.
oh yeah,
Oh,
what's
man.
his face?
Every time I wear the Bob cosplay, I get at least one or two people who think I'm Coop from Megas XLR.
You should just seriously do Coop. I think you really should do.
But I always think it's funny that people mistake it because
Oh
it's
my
not it's not even
God.
close.
You said Mega's XLR, and I was like, "What are you to?" Oh!
She said that oh shit moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You just gotta frost your hair.
yeah,
my
you just gotta
God.
frost your hair and kind of change. You just need to wear a white shirt underneath and just kind of change your plaid shirt, and you'd have it nailed. Just get a big gulp
Come
and you're
on, but
fine.
what if Austin?
Anyway,
But what if?
don't
No,
worry, Iowa
still-
dude. If you ever want to cosplay, I have a couple in mind for you that you could easily pull off with not too much effort on your part and budget?
Mansato.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Mansato. Like Manfei, but Mansato.
Oh God, no!
Mansato.
A male version of Misato for you.
I know, but I
don't think you have the hair for it.
No, I don't have the hair for it.
Dye it
No,
purple.
not anymore, anyways. Also, I don't know if I could do that. I don't want to do something like that because I like Misato as a character. I respect her too much to want to do that. I really do. I know that probably sounds stupid, but I always thought Misato was an interesting and very deep character in the Ava franchise, and she gets overlooked. And, you know, she has some genuinely touching minutes.
Misato's ever really been overlooked.
Honestly, nobody really talks about her, it seems like. Everybody's more focused on, like, you know, Asuka, Rei, Shinji, Mari. Kaoru, yeah, pretty much.
Carl.
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 Yo, you hit it with the shampoo and they go away.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've all got an interesting take.
Yeah, I think the takeaway is that do what you love. Don't let other people dictate your hobby.
Fuck the haters, man. You want to cosplay? Cosplay. Do the thing.
Like, and it just doesn't apply to cosplay in general. It's like, if you're an anime fan, just show it. I mean, like, I walked around campus in my Riva shirt the other day. Like, why not? I'm gonna fully broadcast that I'm an anime fan.
Riva.
And like
every time I wear an anime shirt in public, someone's weird to me, so I can't.
We know.
Yeah, there's different reasons for that, which is really sad. And if anyone ever does that to me, Asuka, I will personally make sure to contact you as quickly as possible and let you know that, hey, you're not the only one. I had the same problem, but no one does it with me because I'm a 6'6" white male who looks extremely pissed off at all parts of the day. People tend to just not go near me in public when they don't know me.
No offense, you look like that dude from the Geico commercial where Pinocchio's giving the motivational speech and it looks like the one guy. That is exactly what Iowa looks like.
Yeah, I kind of do look like that at times. Not quite that sad, just, you know.
I know.
Just leave me the bleep alone.
You have potential.
Thought of you. All right.
Can we close with parting words to cosplayers?
Well, actually, we got to plug some stuff before we do that.
Oh yeah.
We have some important dates coming up. We have Comic-Con coming up. Asuka and Unit 2. I know you guys are both doing panels there.
We are.
If you would mind telling the people dates, times, any pertinent information.
My favorite panel. I don't know why I said my favorite. Probably because I'm looking at the schedule right now, and I'm looking at Unit 2's panel, and it's up against a panel about free, and I'm like, my favorite. My panel is from 5 to 6 on Friday night in panel room.
What's it called?
Yes, what is it called?
It's called Garden of Ava. It's called Garden of Ava, and it's in panel room 2. Panel room 2. There's only 2 panel rooms, so.
Panel room 2 on which
panel room? Panel room 1,
50%
panel room 2, and panel room
it.
big. Those are the panel rooms.
Can you plug mine too?
I'm about to do that. Unit 2's is also in panel room 2, but it's at 10:30 in the morning on Sunday, and it's called "What Did Gendo Say? Things You Might Have
Missed."
No, the program cuts it off.
So
things you might have.
So just
things you might have.
Right, so
Nightmares,
anything that you
issues,
might have post Ava.
robots, cigarettes,
your
booze,
psychotherapy bills.
All right. So
Freud theories.
One more time, really quick. So date and times on both those panels.
Friday at 5 is Garden of Ava. Sunday at 10:30 is What Did Gendo Say? And we will be appearing in the Cosplay Catwalk, which is their version of the Masquerade, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. And we're going to win. It's going to be great. Please come out and see us because nobody came out and saw us. Nobody came out to see us last time, and we were very sad. So if you're going to RamenCon and you see us and you want to say hi to us, please do it. We will have business cards. Also, a quick thing. We are doing at Garden of Ava, I will be giving away 1 free Sachiel plush toy made by Sammy Koopa, who does really awesome designs, and she will be there handing out business cards. We're going to raffle off a plush toy, so if you come to the panel, you could enter to win a chance at a really, really awesome plush. She makes great plush toys. I'm going to see if I can
She was.
pull up
I
her
remember her.
things.
She's the one who dressed as Mari at my panel.
Yeah, she makes
Mhm.
MP Ava plush toys. She's literally the best. Like, she's one of my favorites. Sam, if you're
Yes.
listening to this, you're the best.
I
I'm gonna
fell
link.
in love
I'm
with
gonna
that plushie when I saw
I'm
it.
gonna
That
make
was
sure they put
amazing.
your website or your Facebook page in the doo-doo-doo so that people can go buy your things. Sammy's great, buy her things. But
Yes.
yeah, no, RamenCon is September 19th through the 21st, and it's at the Radisson in Merrillville, Indiana. And if you're in the Midwest and you haven't bought a ticket, please do, because it is literally my favorite convention ever. It is the most fun you will ever have.
Until you come to
and-
my convention.
I want to go to Iowa really bad,
No,
but
not Iowa.
No, he's
What?
talking about Kuroshi, but no, you
Oh.
need to. But next summer, you definitely need to come to AI.
Oh, yeah.
RamenCon is the butts though, or not butts. It's the tits.
It's the bee's knee.
It's the best. It's
All
the,
right.
it's as Kamal says, the bomb diggity.
I don't
All
say
right.
that.
Well, anyway, I think it's time to wrap this all up. I think we've got the information we need out there for cosplay and all that fun stuff. If you guys want to discuss this further with us, you can always email us at dummyplugpodcast@gmail.com, or you can join us on the forums at rebuildofevangelion.org. One of the other little things I need to mention, because I've done it, and I know Asuka said she's going to do it, and I challenged Unit too, but he's bailing on it, is the Ice Bucket Challenge. If you want to see me doing it, it's on the front page of the site. When Asuka gets hers done, I will be more than happy to post that video to the site, as long as she's willing to let me.
I'm gonna do it.
What?
I might do it in one of my cosplays. I'm still thinking about it.
You should, especially because of who you're going to challenge.
I might do it in one of my cosplays.
I think you need to.
Just don't do it in one that's just going to get damaged by the water. Please don't do that.
I don't have any that will, so
Fantastic.
We'll find a way. God willing, we'll find a way. So anyway, yes, email us. Come talk to us on the forums. As always, I know a lot of people listen to this through the website, but please, please, please subscribe to us on iTunes.
subscribe, goddammit.
Subscribe it on iTunes, so we can get this thing more popular, so more people will see us, like when they look for the new releases stuff. Everything helps out. Remember, we're not doing this for money. We're doing it because we love it and we want to discuss it. Just so everything that you guys do to support it helps us support the fandom, helps us support Ava. So yeah, I think anything we can do to make everything better for everybody. So, all right. Anyway, for the Unit 2 podcast, I'm Gainer79.
Wait, what?
To Unit 2
It's
The
podcast.
Unit 2 podcast?
Wow, I'm fucking retarded.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Way to completely and utterly derail the show
It's
right
That's
at the
not a good word
freaking
to
It's
use.
I don't
Hold
talk
on,
for-
hold
Botchamania.
on.
Can we
Oh,
just
That
end
is
it
a-
on
that
that
is-
note?
I
That
don't
is a
talk-
that is a butt. No, that is a butt word to use. Gainer, you apologize immediately. That is a nasty word to use.
Don't worry,
What?
we'll fix it in post.
No, you.
What Gainer
no,
means
I'm
is
with
he's
her.
very sorry, and that is a very, very nasty word to use
Yes,
ever.
please do not use that
What?
word unless you were the
What?
R word.
What word?
I'm Asuka. This is the end of the podcast.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I don't talk for 45 minutes and look what fucking happens. God damn it.
Goodbye.
Ava,
Goodbye.
dude, I know you're listening. Can we fix this in post?
See,
Ugh, I hate you.
see you
All
next
right, let's
time.
just
Yes.
cut it.
We can fix
That's
it in
all,
post.
folks.
Let's try
I
this
have to get
again.
that in at least once per episode. I hate you.
All right, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix it right
Do the
now.
sign off.
So for the Dummy Plug podcast,
Oh, good. You could get it the second time. Fantastic.
Here, let Gaynor talk and we'll fix it in post.
we'll fix it in
Ugh.
post. Anyway, for the Dummy Plug podcast, I'm Gainer79. Guys,
I'm Asuka. Actually, _Asuka.
I'm actually Unit 2.
I'm Hunter.
I actually talked this episode.
that's
That's
Iowa.
Iowa.
And
Goodbye.
guys,
That's
Goodbye.
Iowa.
and
Goodbye.
everyone, we will catch you next time on the
Catch
Dummy
you on the
Plug
flip
podcast.
side.
So-
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Crying out
Bye.
loud.
人高歌那天使のように少年よ神話になれよっ遠い風が今胸のドアを叩いても私だけをただ見つめて応援でるあなたそっと触れるもの求めることに打ち 中で運命さえまだ知らない痛いけない瞳だけどいつが気づくでしょうその背中には遥か未来目指すためのあれがあることゴルソン酷な天使の手で窓前からやがて飛び立つほとばしる熱いバトスで思い出を裏切るならこの空を抱いた輝く少年よ神話になれ